if you're not ready to do something that's really, really hard, the hardest thing you've ever done, where you will not see friends, family, make little money, all of that jazz, then you're ready to start your own company. And I think I say that because it's that hard. And I don't want people to underestimate the amount of work, effort, capital, time, energy it takes.
Hey y'all, welcome to Selling with Social, the podcast that helps marketers increase marketing qualified leads, sales reps to shatter sales results, and sales leaders to grow as leaders. Each show, we interview sales, marketing, and social media practitioners, leaders, and influencers to help you connect, close more deals, build stronger relationships with clients, and improve your sales productivity. I'm Mario Martinez Jr. You're now listening to Selling with Social. Brandon, my man, Bornancin, CEO of Seamless.ai. I am super pumped to have you here on Selling with Social, my man.
Ow! Ow! Yeah, baby. Let's do it.
I'm excited to have you. It's been a long time coming to get you on the podcast here. So Brandon, do me a favor, everybody, all my listeners, we've got sales folks, we've got sales leaders, we've got sales enablement and marketing folks that are listening in right now. You are the CEO and founder of Seamless.ai. You've got an interesting background as well, the salesperson who's turned entrepreneur and about to come out with a new book that is forthcoming. And we'll talk about that in just a little while. But give us a little background. Who are you and where'd you come from?
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon. Thanks for having me, Mario. Interesting background. Came from a family that was super poor. Mom worked 2 jobs. Dad worked 2 jobs. Then eventually my father went from retail into software sales for a small startup called CA Technologies. He took CA Technologies to over $1 billion in revenue, taught me sales is the number one best profession in the world. So then I went into college, studied sales, launched 2 companies that did over 6 million. Then after being an entrepreneur, decided to go into full-time sales for IBM Interactive and for Google. And, had a fun ride doing enterprise sales, selling, and then just launched Seamless.ai, where we use artificial intelligence to deliver the world's best sales leads. Really excited to be here.
Now, you didn't just launch Seamless.ai. You've been around for a couple of years now, right?
It's been a really fast 3 years for sure. Just launched 36 months ago.
And you've had some great traction in the marketplace. We love the product. It's absolutely fantastic. Love working with it. Man. You're very welcome. I always love asking this question of all my guests. I want to know something about you that nobody would know by looking at your social profiles. Give me something juicy, man, something good. I'll tell you what you got to beat.
Okay.
Byron Matthews, the CEO of Miller Heiman, gave me the all-time best. He had an extra thumb. I think it was on his right hand. And he was like one of the baddest football players. He said he was like a great quarterback with the extra thumb. It was a fully functioning thumb. So I need you to beat that.
Oh, man. My life has been like the pursuit of happiness, like Will Smith, broke as shit, rich as shit, broke and then rich and then broke and then rich. I don't have any weird thumbs or anything, but I've just been knocked out. I've been in a ring with Mike Tyson getting my ass kicked for years and just learned you just got to use tenacity in sales or as an entrepreneur and you'll get through it to where you want to go. So that's really all I've got.
And do me a favor, because look, all my listeners know that we are not a product pitch at all on Selling with Social, but I do love Seamless.ai. Just tell everybody, you said it's an artificial intelligence automation platform. Just real briefly, what does it do?
Yeah. So here's the background. I was selling 7- and 8-figure deals at IBM and Google. When we were selling, we could only prospect 15, 20 people a day. And we needed a way to automate finding our total addressable market and every account. Every single contact that was a decision maker, influencer, buyer, user, you name it, at any Fortune 500 that we wanted to sell to, we needed to know who those people were. We needed to have their perfect contact information. And then as you know, to sell digitally, you need as much research on the contacts and companies as possible. So when we were selling for IBM and Google, my team and I would take weeks to put together these pitch decks, like weeks. When you're doing a 7-figure deal, like you got to know everything about the company. And I'd be the guy that would have to write 30 pages worth of a pitch brief to pitch these big brands. And I'm like, this has got to be totally automated. So the team and I, we built a search engine that finds your total addressable market, all the contacts that you need to sell to at every account. Seamless also uses AI to figure out all the accounts that you need to sell to. And then she uses AI to research perfect emails, perfect phone numbers, thousands of data points about everyone you need to connect with and close to maximize revenue.
Awesome. Now, interestingly enough, this is how entrepreneurship starts. You were a salesperson trying to solve a specific problem. You came up with an idea. You started designing a solution to help you in your role. And then you turned around and you launched a company around it.
Yeah. So I wanted to automate all of this selling, the list building, prospecting, appointment setting, CRM data entry, everything that sucks up 70% of your time.
Yeah.
And that time is why 67% of sales reps are missing their quota every year. Yeah. So I built this prototype just to help me sell faster because I wanted to make more money and I wanted to help my company make more money. And I 10x'd my income. 10x'd my income, became a millionaire. And then my company is like, well, how are you performing at 5x, 10x the amount of everyone else? What are you doing? And I told them, well, hey, I'm using this product. By the way, I built the product. So I sold my employers licenses to the product. And then eventually it was just like, I don't want to help IBM or Google or whoever I'm working for generate millions. Like that was my mission and passion, and to help the brands that we're working with. How do I help millions of people generate millions in revenue and income? And then that just became an obsession. And I was like, I'm going all in. I'm building Seamless. I want to positively impact 1 billion people. And my founding team and partners, they wanted to do the exact same thing. So we all quit our jobs and went all in.
I love it. That's such a fantastic story because that's where it starts from. It's you find an issue, you find a problem, and you start applying a solution. And I think a lot of sales people, sales leaders, marketing leaders come up with great ideas, but they don't execute on it. They're afraid. They're afraid to take that step to go all in. Clearly, because of your success, you probably leveraged a lot of the income that you had saved up from all of your success to help.
Every dollar I made using Seamless. So I became a millionaire using Seamless, which sounds great. But then I bootstrapped the company and I took all the money I made and invested, hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars into bootstrapping the company. So I was my own investor, which is really cool. By the way, when you're trying to build a company, I would go to every deal. I had to close the deal because that was my next round of financing for my company, because I was bootstrapping it as a side hustle. So every deal that I would go to would be life or death selling for, who I worked for previously.
What you said right there is interesting because that's the way, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but that's the way salespeople should be thinking about their every single sale that they're making. It is financing, not their company that they're aspiring to create, but the company that they own, which is Me Inc., myself Inc., right? Me Inc. In my own household, I've got a COO, and that maybe she might be the CEO. We might argue about that one, but my wife, somebody thinks she's the CEO. I try to think she's the COO, but she definitely is probably the CEO. But nonetheless, we've got a Mario Martinez Inc. or a Martinez Inc. that we have to take care of. And every deal that we are working on is the deal that is financing our company to grow. I mean, there's no different mentality, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And the best way, one of the game changers that I came across to do that better, faster, smarter, I used to be, early on in my career, 21, 22, 23, it was all about me. How do I make as much money to benefit me? How do I make as much money to buy the cars, the houses, the vacations, whatever I wanted? But then I started to learn about servant leadership. And then I started to change my attitude about closing deals, not to benefit me, but to benefit my employer, to benefit my employees at the time. I would think, I remember I was going to this pitch and I'm like, Greg, my account manager who came with me, I'm like, dude, I got to close this deal because he's got 4 kids and this deal he'll make 5% commission on. And that 5% commission can help him pay for his kids to go to private school. And that's why we're going to freaking close this deal. So you start to change the purpose of why you're pursuing these opportunities. And I would also do that for our customers. So if we were selling and I knew you got to believe in what you're selling, by the way, I was selling search marketing and I knew that Google search was the best way to maximize revenue at the time for all of these different brands. So I knew that for the client, the director of digital marketing, Sarah, if I did not convince her and her team that this was the best solution for them to maximize growth, she could get fired tomorrow and not be able to pay her mortgage. She could be out on the streets. They may not hit, their numbers for the stock market, and then they may have to lay off 1,000 people. So you just create this purpose of why you got to give it your all, whatever it takes, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that really helped me elevate my sales games.
Now, what you just described, though, is where you clearly understood the business impact to a no decision or a bad decision, right? For an individual. It was applicable to them. They might get fired. The company might not make their number, right? It's personal and or it is applicable to the company's success. And I think that's where a lot of sales folks, we fail at is what's in it for them and trying to understand what is the business problem that you're trying to solve. What happens if you don't do anything? What happens if you do something, you make the wrong decision? What does this impact? And somehow, some way, Brandon, innately, you've got that mindset already, but wouldn't you agree that those are some of the things that we need to uncover in the sales process?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to align strategically with the corporate vision, the corporate goals, the KPIs, the responsibilities. And I may not know that Sarah has 3 kids. And I'm big on focusing on the account. Everyone's personalized, Mario likes the Ohio State Buckeyes or University of San Francisco, 49ers, whatever it may be. I'm laser focused on the account. Where's the account today? Where do they need to go tomorrow to hit their numbers and everything about the account, what they're doing in digital, what they're doing as a corporate in sales and marketing, you name it, what can we do to positively impact them? And I think knowing a lot about the company and doing all of that research and that personalization at the corporate level versus the personnel level, then you just know that business impact would have on the person. I just assume Mario has kids. He's got a wife. If I don't get him on Seamless per se, and I don't let him break into this account and he doesn't close that $100,000 deal, Vengreso may be out of business tomorrow. And I cannot let that happen. I know Mario and his team have so much potential to make a positive impact on this world that I got to get the deal done, get them on Seamless, leverage the world's best sales leads so that they can break into 30 accounts they would have never been able to break into. And that's the purpose-driven servant leadership mindset I think you got to have.
Yeah, gotcha. Do me a favor. There's a lot of folks who have aspired, and I really love your entrepreneurial attitude, your style, your swagger. You're young, you're millennial, you are successful with Seamless.ai, you've self-funded the organization. It doesn't mean that you might not take on future rounds of funding, but you've self-funded it to date. You've worked on the development. This is your brainchild, right? Mm-hmm. Give me 1, 2, 3 top secrets of what to do or what not to do when looking to go out on your own.
Great question. And I feel like you're trying to get into the book we're launching, Sales Secrets from the Top 1%, but we'll get into that in a minute. So top 3 secrets, it's pretty easy. Number 1, don't do it for the money. If you do it for the money, you'll quit. If I was all about doing Seamless for the money, first off, I was in sales, making high 6-7 figures. You don't quit that to go start a company and make a lot of money. Just keep making a shitload of money as a top 1% salesperson. I'm telling you, don't quit your job as a top 1% salesperson that's making that type of cash. If I could go back, I probably would not have started Seamless. I just would have invested my capital into other startups. And that's secret number 1. It takes 10 times the amount of effort, time, capital, resources, money, pain that you will go through. However much money you think, I promise you, and my good friend and advisor and mentor, Grant Cardone, preaches this, it will take 10x the amount of effort. It's just the reality. Dude, I didn't pay myself for a year. Literally, I went from making 7 figures to making nothing for a year. The second year, I paid myself below poverty. So now I'm going on 2 years, no money, no money at all. The only way that you can work your ass off for that amount of time, and we've been doing Seamless for 3 years, the only way that you could do that is by having purpose and a vision. I have an obsession to figure out how we can help companies find everyone that they need to contact to create opportunity. I have an obsession to help every company acquire their total addressable market. It's got nothing to do with money. I know that if I can help you acquire your total addressable market instantly using AI, you will become limitless in life, in sales, for anything that you want to do. So you just can't, number one, you can't do it for the money. Number two, it will take forever, 10x the amount of time, capital, resources, energy, money, all the above. And then number three, you just got to overcome failure every day. Dude, I pitched over 100 investors. And by the way, every single investor that we acquired at Seamless, we prospected, cold email, cold call, using the Seamless.ai platform. So we literally cold called and prospected venture capitalists that would invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we're now raising a multi-million-dollar round, which is really exciting. But every deal that we've closed at Seamless, we hunted. Every investor we hunted, and we've been told no so many times. The no from customers is easy. A customer to tell you no for me is actually easy. Okay, fine. I try to communicate that this would change your life, that it would be a game changer for you, your company, your employees, your families, everything, that the amount of cash that we would help you make using the world's best sales leads. But when an investor comes to you and tells you that your idea sucks, you suck, your team sucks, your product sucks, the market sucks, that hurts. And then when you get told that 100 times, that hurts even more. But guess what? Every time you just say, you know what? Hey, I appreciate you. I'm going to show you wrong. And I'm going to use your feedback to optimize. I think a lot of salespeople don't like being coached. And we just try to use every experience from failure to optimize. I tell my fiance this because she always wants me to do stuff around the house that I never do. And I'm like, hey, hon, I'm so sorry. I'm in a constant state of optimization. I love that feedback. I'm going to try harder next time. You just got to be in a constant state of optimization. I tell her, hey, babe, I'm ABO, always be optimizing. Keep the feedback coming. Thank you so much. So I think in life, in sales, you just got to always be optimizing.
That's a new one for me. I'm going to take that one and use it with my wife. Baby, I'm ABO. Always be optimizing. I'm in a constant state of optimization. So please keep the feedback coming.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Danielle. I didn't empty the dishwasher, but you know what? I'm in a constant state of optimization. I'm going to work harder next time to do that.
I love it. That's a good one. All right. So all jokes aside, I like what you said. I don't want to leave viewers though with doom and gloom, right? When you talk about don't do it for the money, I agree with you, right? You got to set yourself up for at least a 1-year plan of where you're not going to make money. But eventually we all do it for money at some point, right? I mean, at some point it's going to, your vision, if you believe in it, it is going to grow, it is going to get big, it is going to help, and it's going to pay off in the end. And eventually, as an example for myself, I didn't start entrepreneurship so I can make less than what I was making as a VP of sales, right? I did it so that I could actually have more time freedom and make the same amount or more and keep that same level of lifestyle. So I think that's important to understand. But to your point, I remember a good friend of mine told me when I was looking at moving into this, she asked me, she said, do you have enough money that will sustain your lifestyle for a minimum of 1 year if you didn't make a single dollar? And I said, yes, I do. Then she said, great. Then the next question is that will determine if you're an entrepreneur is, are you willing to lose it all?
Yep.
And I think those are really two great questions. And you've got to have at least the 1 year or 2 year plan to what you talked about. In your case, you guys been going at it for 2 years where you didn't, take any income in. You used your own to self-fund your income. So I think that's important
to that point real quick. So by the way, the audience that's looking to potentially go out on their own, the question that I asked myself was could you get another job? If you're a top 1% salesperson or marketer or entrepreneur, you will get hired by anyone that you want to work for. And I said to myself, okay, well, if I go all in and I take my life savings and I bet it all on black, which is Seamless.ai for me, and I'm going to give it my all, worst case scenario, I lose everything. And I've been there twice already in former startups. One was a huge success. One was a failure. This is the third one that we're doing. You just have to understand that the downside, if you're ready to make the jump, is not that bad. You just go work for someone else. If you do Vengreso and for some reason it doesn't work out, then you go to VP of sales at Facebook or Google or Slack or wherever. And that's what I was looking at. It's like, okay, so then I get to go back to my old job and make a ton of cash. There's no downside. And you learn a lot through the experience. Like I've learned more about everything, sales, marketing, entrepreneurship, fundraising, startups than I ever would have reading books.
Yeah, it's a great business background. That's for sure. People always ask me, is it hard? And the answer is it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Is it hard? Okay, take off your shoes, go in the street and run 1,000 miles and tell me if that's hard, because it's probably the equivalent.
Without socks, by the way.
Yeah, without socks, without shoes, and without food. Go run 1,000 miles.
In the middle of summer on the hot asphalt.
Yeah, it's hard. If you're not ready to do something that's really, really hard, the hardest thing you've ever done, where you will not see friends, family, make little money, all of that jazz, then you're ready to start your own company. And I think I say that because it's that hard. And I don't want people to underestimate the amount of work, effort, capital, time, energy it takes. Like it's a lot of work.
One of the things actually that you're getting ready to launch is a new book. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Sales Secrets from the Top 1%. Is that right?
Yes. Sales Secrets from the Top 1%. You can see the book live at secretsalesbook.com. That's secretsalesbook.com. And I'm super, super jacked up about it. And just to quickly go into it, I know personally, right when I got into sales from being an entrepreneur, I was an entrepreneur and then I wanted to go full-time selling enterprise sales for IBM and Google. What I did was I bought every single sales book out there possible, all the top sales authors, and they're all listed at secretsalesbook.com. And I read all their books and I kept looking for all the top sales secrets and strategies and best practices that I can learn from them to apply to sell smarter, better, faster at my new employers. And every year, applying the strategies that I learned, I kept increasing my income. At first, it was like, okay, 50% increase, and then a 75% increase. And then I started doubling my income until I hit 7 figures as a top 1% sales earner. And that's when I realized, like, damn, one day we got to write a book that interviews all the top sales experts. So you've got one resource that gives you their secret sauce to sales success, their top strategies, tips, advice, and we unlock it all for you. It's great. You're going to have roughly 5 to 10 pages per expert. So we're interviewing hundreds of experts. We don't know how many books we're going to slice it up in, but every expert will have like their bio, how they got started in sales, their history. And then we go into the deep stuff, like best sales strategies, biggest failures, like biggest learning experiences, like what to do in inside sales, what to do in outside sales, all of their top tips and strategies that they know are like the deepest, darkest little things that they want to keep inside and not share with anyone. We're pulling that stuff out and sharing it with the community. And I think when you can aggregate all the data, like why Google is so successful and why Seamless is so successful, they aggregate all of this data about people and companies or about information. And if we can aggregate all the data about the most successful way to sell, the whole audience, everyone in sales, is going to maximize their growth and maximize their potential. So we're really excited about it. And I know, Mario, we're really excited to interview you for the book. We've got Anthony Iannarino, Stu Heineke, Grant Cardone, Jared Glant. We've got Jill Conrath listed. We're trying to get Mark Benioff, like hundreds of the top sales authors, sales experts, from inside sales to outside sales to sales management and entrepreneurship. It's really exciting.
Fantastic. And when is the book supposed to be launching?
So the book's going to launch fall of 2018. So very soon. We're wrapping up the interviews. Book's already designed. It's got to go into edit mode and then publication.
Well, we can't wait to get that copy of the book. And thank you for asking me and having me as part of the program. And I'm excited to be part of it and cannot wait to see your future success. But Brandon, I loved our conversation because this was a quick one. And it was really about helping people go from the mindset of working for someone to being a successful entrepreneur. And the things that you described today about what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur are the exact same things that it takes to be a successful salesperson.
Yep, spot on. Sales and entrepreneurship is the exact same thing. And I recommend staying in sales because you get all the upside I was making more than my leadership was making at the companies that I sold for. So like as a top 1% salesperson, you get all the benefit of making all the money, and you get all the benefit of not having to deal with the risk of having your mortgage invested in a company where you may not be able to, you may lose your house. You don't have to pay the bills. You don't have to worry about operations, finance, marketing, customer success, customer service, invoicing. Being a salesperson is like being an entrepreneur, yet every day you're limitless. And if you can master just selling and applying those top 1% strategies, you will make more money than any other profession in the world. And that's why I love sales. They need to teach sales everywhere. It is the number one profession, the highest earning profession in the world, guaranteed. Not doctors, not lawyers. The people that are making the most money in this country right now, salespeople and entrepreneurs. And I don't get why that salespeople are like looked down upon across like all these careers. And like without salespeople, the economy doesn't grow. Without salespeople, companies don't exist. You know, without salespeople, the billions of people hundreds of millions of people that are employed are not employed. So yeah, I mean, being a salesperson is like being an entrepreneur. It's the exact same obstacles. And I highly recommend getting really fired up about being in the number one profession in the world.
Well, to your point, I was part of the story of sales with Salesforce.com, and they interviewed 20 top sales influencers and created a documentary about sales, of the story of sales. And awesome. I love the tagline. And what you just said reminded me of the story of sales. Nothing happens till somebody sells something.
Yep.
Period. And I forgot which one of the 20 influencers inside made that commentary. I forget who was that. But anyways, it was in there. And we'll have a link to the story of sales inside of the show notes as well. But Brandon, fantastic having you on the show. Do me a favor. If someone wants to get a hold of you or connect with you, what's the best way? Are you on Twitter? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? You tell me.
Yeah, I am a huge LinkedIn fan. You know, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm publishing 10, 20, 30 times a day on LinkedIn, different strategies, tips, best practices. Additionally, anyone that's listening to the podcast, if you sign up for Seamless.ai, the world's best sales leads, using referral code Mario, undercapitalized, capitalized, doesn't matter, you're going to get $1,000 worth of credits for free on us. We're going to get you hooked up so that you can find and close more sales faster than ever before. Additionally, special discount on the secretsalesbook.com. Sales secrets from the top 1%. If you go to the page and you order a pre-copy, you're going to get it at roughly 50% off. Check it out. And thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and really appreciate being here, Mario.
Well, don't close it out yet. I got one more question for you.
Oh, perfect.
You went into straight sales mode. You're trying to close everybody. Well, here's my final question for you. Your all-time favorite movie. What is it?
I may get some criticism for this. I'm a Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, all day, every day type of guy.
Come on, Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. The funny part is like I don't watch a lot of movies or TV.
I took you for the Notebook type of guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, they're all sales related or entrepreneurial related, like Boiler Room, Gary Glenn Ross, The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm a big The Pursuit of Happiness fan just because that reminds me of half my life. So those are a lot of my favorites. But, if you want to get jacked up about sales, like cut out the illegal stuff. Like if they didn't do anything illegal and they were amazing at just selling like stocks in their hedge fund and their wealth management services, that would be awesome. So that will get you jacked up about sales. Just cut out the illegal jazz.
I love it. All right, fantastic. Well, Brandon, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining me on that episode of Selling with Social. I hope you found as much value in that episode as I did. Here's what I want you to do next. Please go to www.vengreso.com. That's VENGRESO.com. VENGRESO.com. And make sure that you get access to our content. We've got the latest and greatest in digital sales, sales training, content marketing, and social selling strategies that are going to help you grow your sales pipeline. I look forward to having you on the next show of Selling with Social. Make sure you also go to vengreso.com/podcasts to be able to get access to the latest and greatest Selling with Social episodes, along with any of the other episodes that we've got from Social Business Engines with my friend and partner, Bernie Borges. Thanks again for joining on Selling with Social.